Hey guys, it's Rachel from the Literary Lamb. Today I have a book review on Good in Bed by Jennifer Weiner. This is the first book in a duology. The second book actually was released, I believe, 15 years after this one was originally released, so you might not know this. Some disclaimers before I start this. This will be a non-spoilers review. If you're under the age of 18, this is more of a general fiction. It does deal with some explicit sexual stuff. There is cursing in the book, so just be aware that if you are a younger reader, I definitely recommend it for at least 17 at the minimum. Over that would be preferable. Just for, clarity's sake, I'm still the same age that I was when I read it, but I am 21 years old, just for, that's kind of when I decided to read it. And this is my first Jennifer Weiner, well, it's not my first Jennifer Weiner book, but it's my first fiction book from her. I did read her memoir earlier in the year, which I do have a review up on, and I'll try to remember to link it in the down bar. And I'm not yet read the sequel to this, so just for clarity's sake. If you're new to my book reviews or just a refresher, I have my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading again very soon, 5 out of 5, and not so soon, 1 out of 5. So basically this book is about 28-year-old Canny Shapiro. So Canny has a lot of things going for her. She has a good job, she has her dog, loves her friends, but one day she opens up a national women's magazines and sees the words "loving a larger woman" above her ex-boyfriend's byline, clearly indicating, Canny. Canny then is plunged into misery and the most amazing year of her life. From Philadelphia to Hollywood and back home again, she charts a new course for herself, mourning her losses, facing her past, and figuring out who she is and who she can become. Now, I really like Jennifer Weiner's books because, even reading her memoir, she did talk about this one a lot in her memoir, which actually persuaded me to pick it up faster than I probably would have picked up it. So I really like how Jennifer Weiner really sticks up for herself. Even hearing in her book, Hungry Heart, how she kind of went with her vision, went with her title, and was stuck true to it. And I can definitely, I love how, strong the author was, and you could see that the strongest was, resonated with her main character. I really loved the plot of this book. I felt like it was really good. I actually gave it a 4 out of 5. It didn't quite get a 5 out of 5 just because I found the beginning was a little bit slower for me to get into, but certain parts of it I really did enjoy. Also, sorry if you can hear that. That's my parents' business phone in the background, if you can hear that. But basically, I loved it's so hard to describe a contemporary book, but I really did enjoy. I really loved everything that the characters went through. I found the plot moved, once I got into the book, which was about 60, 80 pages, it moved very fast. It was definitely a whirlwind, and it was a really good contemporary. I haven't read a lot of general fiction contemporaries that are kind of more considered chick lit, but I really did enjoy it. So for characters, I actually give a 5 out of 5. I really love the character development in this book. I really love the main character, Canny, because she's so real. She does struggle about certain things, but she picks herself back up, and she's so, kind of honest with herself in the same time. I really just really loved her character. Her character, she can admit her faults, but she's real at the same time, can hide from them. She just seems like a very real character. In fiction, I find a lot of the time you read characters who are very, polished, and they, even if they have flaws, they still seem very polished and put together, and they're kind of caricatures or actors in a TV show. But Candy just felt really down to earth. She felt like somebody I would hang out with. And I really appreciate that fiction because I feel like you don't get that take a lot. You hear about people and they're like, oh, my life's so hard, but they're also, it's just one aspect of their life. It's oh, their love life's so hard, but they're really successful in their job, and they, have everything they ever could want, and just that one aspect. But Candy really has a full circle, and she shows that even if something's not perfect, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's your life, and it's beautifully imperfect. And I really like that kind of thing. I don't know if that was necessarily what the author's grasping at, but I really liked Canny as a character. She's definitely one of my favorite characters. And I really liked all the other characters in this book. Canny was obviously the main focus, but even the ones that I really hated, I do have a few I really hated, her ex-boyfriend. I don't really like his character at all. I found he didn't really have any redemption. I wasn't a fan of him at all in the slightest. And his new girl, which is not really a spoiler because they are broken up, so we can just assume. But I really liked everything that happened, and I really liked, I forget her name, but she is the movie star, and I haven't read this for in 4 weeks, or 3 weeks, so it's very hard for me to remember that girl's name, which I probably should have looked at before, but that's what happens when Maxie, that's her name, sorry. Maxie, I really liked her character. I liked it's really hard for me not to gush about this, so I'm just going to move on to the next one. But basically I wanted to really do a rant about Canny. I liked all the other characters, but Canny was definitely the standout, and I can't wait to read the sequel and see where her life went. Cover, I actually give a 3.5 to 5. It's just, like, when this cover came out, because I don't know if this is the original cover, but they said it was something like this. It was like girls' legs and something like that. When it came out, it was more unique and like not really done a lot, but because it is nowadays, it is done more. But I really appreciate the pastel colors, the blue shiny reflective letters. I hope you can see that. But it's just like, it's not amazing, but it's still good. And also it made me really want cake, because there's a little picture of a cake here, and I was like reading and I was like, cake, that salad life is not satisfying me at all. And basically that's my rant about that. Basically, the suspense in this novel, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, because I really want to know where Canny was going to go with her life. I really wanted to know what was going to happen in the sequel. I haven't read it, but I've read the back of the cover because I couldn't wait, which really motivated me to get this done. But I really liked it at the same time. Like, it was a suspense, like I want to get through it fast, but I also want to revel in it and, you know, sink my teeth into it and, like, not let go. Like, it was just so good, and I really enjoyed it so much, more than I ever thought I would. Not that I'm saying, like, her writing's not what my forte, but, like, I don't know. Like, just, like, I used to see these books when I was younger, like, her books in the library and stuff like that, and I didn't think I'd ever be sitting here saying that I was reading them, because I was always like, I'm going to read teen books forever, that kind of thing. But I'm really glad that I read her her memoir. I believe that's the correct terminology. I'm really glad I read her memoir, because it led me to read this book, and I just really like her as an author, and as generally as a person and as a writer, now that I've read one of her, like, actual fiction books. So I really want to delve into more of her stuff. After I read the sequel to this, I'm definitely going to pick up another one of her books, because there's so many good ones. Like, just reading the synopsis, I'm just so excited to delve into that world. And overall, I give the book a 4 out of 5. I definitely read it again. It's really good. I just cannot stop gushing about this book. Did it change my life? No. But it gave me a character who I absolutely adore, and that is very important to me. And yes, I want to thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know if you've read this. If you haven't read this, and you kind of like general fiction, like, I don't really have a good comparison for this book, but if you like general fiction and you kind of want to like a chick lit type book, definitely check out this book or one of her other books, because a lot of them sound very interesting, but I definitely recommend this one by her. And contrary to the title, like, it is about that, but it's not fully focused on that, which I thought, you know, going into it might be more, but not that bad. In that regard, that wasn't bad, but, like, you know, like, not, it doesn't shape it shapes the novel, but it's not all that the novel's centered on. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.